Welcome along to URC. It's the final round here in Season 12. We're at Austria. The Drivers' Championship may already be over, but the Constructors' Championship is still open for two teams. I'm Leopold, joining you as your main commentator later, hoping to be joined by Shamrock. But it's a good, exciting race that we should have tonight, and our first driver out on track is one who needs a performance today, because Haas are currently, at least in the Constructors, if I go to the right screen, apparently none of the screens have the Constructors on them. This is beautiful. That's drivers. Have I set the picture on both of these? I have. I'm very good at what I'm doing. I've just saved the drivers twice. Okay. We'll have a second to bring up the Constructors' Championship once I get the correct image saved and put out on the stream for you guys. But this is what the Constructors' Championship are currently at. Haas lead from Williams, the only two teams that are able to do absolutely anything in the Constructors' Championship right now. Ferrari, 1 point is all they had, and all they would have needed for the Constructors. In terms of the drivers, Fran Bernoulli is the champion, absolutely confirmed at this point. No one can beat him, so the battle is on for P2 in the drivers. But as we go back to live, Phase Monkey is starting the first lap of Austria, and this is such a tricky track, as always, really, to get right, but not many corners, but so easy to get each one of these corners wrong. Down the back straight they come towards turn 3, and it's a 15.7 sector 1 pace, looking quite nice in the first sector for the Haas driver. Straighten up the car down the back straight, all about minimizing the distance, minimizing any scrub to set yourself up now for turn 4. Use all that curb on the outside, really helps get that front end in and that rear end rotated around. Straighten up into turn 5, use a bit of entry curb, he's not buying it too much, keep it tight and then just let it fling out to the exit curb. And then again, turn 6, it's nearly flat out, depends what setup you're running, but keep it as tight as possible. Try and run it out through turn 7 and the final 2 corners. Easy to invalidate in either one of these. Want to get it close but not on that inside curb, and on the second one take all the cut you want. Phase Monkey, very tidy lap to open us out here. 104.1 is the time to beat. Can Quiet Boy topple that time? And no, not by an absolute mile. Fozzie's had a win recently in a league, can only put himself P3, and then it's the other V-carb of V Kloppo. Comes across the line, goes just behind Fozzie's. Time's decent to start with. ST in the Red Bull, newly acquired for Red Bull for the end of the season. P2 is where he can put it. One of the Mercedes is just behind there. Hyper, definitely on a slow lap. The driver who really wanted that Constructors win couldn't do anything about it. Richie comes around the final corner. He's kept it valid. Nowhere close to his teammate, as Fozzie's has hit a wall somewhere along this track. I believe trying to find who's near to Fozzie's right now. See what's happened. He's spun. He's hit a wall really badly. He's parked in the middle of the track. And I'm sure we will very shortly be hearing messages from him as Joker goes to the top of the stack. Fran Bernoulli is confirmed your driver's champion, as we already discussed in this. There will not be a lobby reset. Beautiful. But let's see what Fozzie's does. What Fozzie's can do in the race. P8 is the most he'll get, but that's if everyone else absolutely fails to do anything here. Fran Bernoulli middle sector looking pretty decent. He keeps it valid. Hyper goes to the top of the stack. 104.0. Times at the top, 3 drivers within about 2/10 of each other. Has Fran got any more pace in that car? How much commitment does he have to that final corner? Just a downshift. Very slow exit though. So he brings this to the line. It's definitely not pole. It's only P5 for the time being. Qualifying pace for the current drivers' champion is not there whatsoever. XD Tyler has retired. Something's happened to him on the exit of the final corner, I think. Actually, I don't think we get a good view of that from anywhere. Unfortunate, I'm sure, as one of the guys that loves to scream about what's happened. We'll be hearing from him very shortly. If not from him, I'm sure Hyper will be sending me a voice note at some point in this stream. On board with Jonesy Boy, middle sector, again looking quite decent. Definitely not front-running pace in that Williams, but substituting in for tonight, along with Fozzies for the Williams squad. But he's going to come through the final corner now. Straighten up. Across the line he goes. It's only P8. Fozzies has sent a clip into General already of what's happened. I've got the second screen here to maybe take a look at what he did. Get the power down. He's actually in quite a good spot here. Has he just been he's not been taken out or anything. He's just completely lost focus, hit the wall, and that's him out of the session. Very early on. So first runs have concluded themselves now. I think Blue on an in-lap as well. Everyone, quite a structured qualifying, if anything, around here. But White Boy's out on a medium, actually. Very interesting choice considering the lack of a lobby reset coming in. You know. So, interesting tactics from the V-Carb driver here, who needs a good performance in that Racing Bull. Whatever he can do, but first sector, he's a 10th up, so it was a really poor first sector for the V-Carb driver on his first run, and only more to come from him. Jonesy Boy is still out there trying to do something about his lap time, but invalidated turn 1 it looks like. Or exit the final corner, both equally as likely, considering the track. So Fozzies and XD Tyler have already binned it in this session, a qualifying session you wouldn't have expected to. XD Tyler decided to bin it. To get out of everyone's way in the race, start from the back on a new wheel. Quiet Boy in the final sector now. What's he been able to hook up on this lap? Hopefully found an improvement considering the fact he's used a medium tyre, and it's a 2/10 improvement, puts him P4. Good efforts from him. Ben Wawa is on a lap, but Ben, formerly a team principal, unable to do anything. Kloppo comes across the line, finds the position over Fozzies, who's more and more looking like he's going to be dropped to plumb last in this session and be starting from P16 in this race. Car's getting nicely out the way as ST does his Sector 1. It's a 15-7 in Sector 1 for ST. Finding pace, building up slowly but surely through the session for himself. Down now towards turn 5. And he seems to really be wringing everything out of that car, and a bit too much out of that car. Absolutely bullied the curb in turn 5. The corner Hyper's going through right now invalidated his effort. No chance for his improvement. I think Fran and Joker are quite close together on track. No, that's Gitarachi just ahead of Joker. He's got to be careful, because Fran could have team games played for him as Fran really bottles the exit. Backs off the lap. Unsurprisingly, he is so lucky to have not gotten damage there. That car going absolutely nowhere on the exit, using the grass, was not the ideal play. Fran and ST, I think, both getting out of each other's way, as we can see on the mini-map. Luckily, times are close enough today to where it really won't matter. Kicks Albacam kind of cooked today because I apparently didn't reset my settings. Everyone else should have normal camera. Yeah, just Kicks Alba gets the short straw here of not really getting the onboards, and through the final sector, Joker now about to finish his next lap. He'll have been getting a bit of dirty air off Gitarachi. Goes P2 for now. Can't find much of an improvement. Hyper couldn't find anything in Sector 1. Losing time on his tyre. In Sector 2 again, Hyper just making a bottle of it. Losing time. Yari's being asked if he's on crack for his lap times, I'm pretty sure, unless he's really impeded Ben. Hyper into the pits, Joker's coming into the pits. Let's take a look at Yari, 2/10 up in that middle sector. Finding time slowly but surely around this track. This could put him into the top 5, if anything. If he hooks up the final sector, maybe even up to P4 for the Belgian Waffle. As he comes through the final corner, straightens the car, across the line. It's only a 0.6 in the end. Couldn't find much more of an improvement in that car. Bluefoot has found time in that middle sector too, trying to bring himself further into contention with the likes of Hyper and Joker, who seem to be the 2 pace setters today. Through the final corner comes Joker, and he should be on a Bluefoot, sorry, and he's P4 as it stands. Richie and the Haas team don't need much in this session. I think they're going to be quite happy. Phase Monkey in P3 right now, and kind of all they really need. They need to score 6 points today, according to the information I've been given, to do well. In that P3 and P5 provisionally will be doing them absolute wonders. Billy Wiz in the Alpine struggling along as always, the only Alpine driver on the track for this week. But session 6.5 minutes to go here in qualifying in Austria. And where are the times going to go from here? That's the only question. How far are people into the lobby? ST feels he is desynced, so we will be lobby resetting after qualifying after all. Let me just communicate that. Billy Wiz comes into the pit lane. Sorry, I was trying to communicate to the drivers that there will be a lobby reset now, because ST has had a little desync moment. The one time I say no lobby reset, we have someone get desynced. It's very convenient for ST to get desync. Unless, to be fair, it is EA. EA servers are, I think, worse than wank on this game. So, we'll have to see. Kloppo invalidates, pulls into the pits. Johnsy Boy seems to be pushing on his lap. Richie loves ST for this lobby reset. Oh, very wide for Johnsy Boy. That's an invalidation and a half. I think Quiet Boy coming to the end of a lap right now. This is a low 104. Still only P5 because that was the gap. Really, 104.2 for him. Fran Bernoulli finally finds a decent bit of pace. 104.187 for the Malteser in the Ferrari. But time will tumble now. I have been messaged. Being told the exact thing I've just told all of you, that we are resetting the lobby. Unfortunate for Fozzies, who's just had a mind break to lose out on his efforts. And I think our first final-ish run will come from everyone's favourite driver, well, at least one of my favourite drivers in Joker, and someone who actually has the qualifying setup this week. I don't even have the qualifying setup, and whatever efforts I made to make one ended up with an undrivable car, or my pace was just that bad. Joker not found any time in Sector 1, but the time is still competitive. All the time really is going to be found in the middle and final sector, where you've got all that high speed rotation to get, where everything can fall apart. Pingcord has finally caught up and told the server that I am live. But Joker, through this middle sector now, really just needs to hook it up all beautifully. Through turn 5, the bumps on the track are going to try and unsettle that front end, try and unsettle the rear end, but he's up on the time he needs to beat now to take pole, and it looks like a good run through turn 6 and 7. Down towards turn 8, he's just got to keep it rotated, he's just got to keep it committed, and can't invalidate on these final 2 corners. It looks neat, it looks tidy, keeps plenty of margin to the track limits. This should be pole, this should be a 103, a 103.9 for Joker, as one of the only drivers who was on a lap at that point. Kajoko is currently P16 and last of the people who are actually qualifying. Fozzie's 15th on a 105.2 as it stands, and can Kajoko catch and beat that? He's 8 tenths up now as he comes through that middle sector of this lap. Ghilaracci is starting the lap. Kloppo has just come out the pit lane to start their final runs, really, in this qualifying session. Not really time to get back to the pits at all now. But Kajoko is going to come to the line. It's a 105.0. He pulls himself out of the bottom end of the grid into a slightly less bottom part of the grid. A 105.0 puts him just ahead of Kloppo. But Kloppo is a driver that can find some time. Ghilaracci is competitive in Sector 1 with Joker. But again, this is where the time is lost in the middle sector. We saw on board with him how much steering lock he's trying to put on. And maybe just scrubbing a bit too much speed with the flicking. We're trying to get it rotated nicely. In the middle sector, he's found a couple tenths that purple. Surely not real considering how far back he is right now. And he just needs this final sector to go well for him. He needs everything to stick together on this lap, because P12 for the second Ferrari driver, not good when they're still in a battle technically for P2 and the constructors cross the line. It's P8. Final run might be done for Ghilaracci unless he can somehow coax that car to have fuel at the end of his sector. And Kloppo, I think, timing that with Quiet Boy quite nicely. They've become good mates of Kloppo and Quiet Boy. From what I've heard, from when I've spoken to them, just finding a good relationship, and that's meant Kloppo gets a little tow where necessary. ST has managed to reconnect to apparently me, but we will be getting a reset anyway to try and hopefully fix any other desync he may have. And a Sector 2, Kloppo finding time as well. Is the track really evolving this much, or is this just confidence and consistency in the lap building for all of these drivers? We'll have to see. He's rounding the final couple of corners now to finish what has been not one of his best quali sessions, but he could change it all now. It's P13 only for Kloppo. Where is Yari right now? Yari in Sector 1 trying to find someone who is coming to the end of their lap. I think that's Hyper just starting one. I think Kajoko will be waiting. I'm not quite sure. Is that Johnsy Boy on and out lap? That is. So I think we're actually definitely looking at Fran Bernoulli for qualifying here. Welcome in Shamrock to the stream, as qualifying is coming to a close at the moment. Fran Bernoulli, how much time does he have at the end of the middle sector? He's closer to those top three guys now. 0.137 away from pole as it stands. Bluefoot slots himself into the top 5, a 104.083 from Bluefoot. What does Fran have? It looked a little bit messy through the final corner, but sometimes that's what you need as he crosses the line, and it's provisional pole for Fran Bernoulli. FaZe Monkey finds a little bit more time in his lap. Yari couldn't find anything that he needed. Kajoko is coming to the line right now. He has invalidated his last effort. I think Quiet Boy couldn't find anything. How is Hyper doing? He's barely up right now. This could be a Fran Bernoulli pole. Hyper's very wide on the exit, and he invalidates. His lap is over. An invalidated time, leaving him only P4. Fran Bernoulli has managed to class the field there. Johnsy Boy and Billy Wiz, the only two with times remaining on this lap. Coming through the middle sector, a couple tenths up for Johnsy Boy now, but how much more does he have? Final sector is absolutely critical for this man. Flings it through the first corner now. Just got to be careful not to invalidate. He's a little wide, and that's another invalidation for Johnsy Boy. Billy Wiz again not finding any time in that middle sector. Can he keep it valid in the final sector and maybe just find a little bit close to the track limits but not beyond? And he is going to cross the line. He puts it into the wall. I don't think he was improving by enough to gain to Kloppo. So that's qualifying. We've got Fran Bernoulli on pole, Joker in second, and FaZe Monkey rounds out the top three. Haas in a great position of 3rd and 7th. While Williams, who needed to put a challenge, only 12th and 16th.
5 red lights on the clock there. Send it. Why has Rian retired? Abre's up to 7! Oh Jesus Christ! The world champion.
And we are back alive in what is no longer such sunny Austrian mountain region. I am joined now by Shamrock, who has finally returned from getting money to fund the entire league. You know, he's got to pay my £1 million a year salary. So
yeah, Leo has demanded way too much in his contract, and now I'm in a lifetime of debt because of his outrageous demands.
Yeah, but Sham, obviously you missed qualifying. I don't know if you're watching it on your way home from trying to pay my salary. But Hyper bottled his final lap, so it's Fran pole from Joker. FaZe Monkey's managed to slot in the middle, and then Hyper is P4. What do you expect off the start, knowing all these drivers and what you've seen this season from him?
To be honest, I'm not surprised Hyper bottled his qualifying lap, because obviously it's been a tough comeback from him since Monaco, since the struggling that he faced in the Monaco Grand Prix. So it's been a rough few days for him. So the pressure was a bit on, I think, to try and come back from that. But other than that, I think, you know, if Fran gets a good launch, he'll try and pull away early doors. I think for Haas, they just don't have to do anything stupid. It's really that simple, I think, for them. If they do something stupid, they'll screw their chances at the constructors. And Williams might sneak through if they get away nicely.
Yeah, Williams in a tough position right now. We've got formation lap coming up. But Williams, P12 and P16, 2 reserves, fielding the grid for them as we pull away on the formation lap. In what is a crucial race for them, they need absolute maximum points. Obviously, Ferrari can't do anything about winning the Constructors, but even for Williams, trying to secure P2 is going to be difficult with where Fran and Archie are starting. Archie going to be able to act as a rear gunner for that Ferrari team. Now, looking at the tyres on the grid, it's been a pretty standard affair across the entire season, mediums or hards, you know, off the starts, and Hyper, Richie and Fozzie's, all three deciding to go for that alternate strategy as Blue and Hyper have come together in the formation.
Oh no. That's not ideal at all.
70-degree hards on the start. Lewis said nice one, Hyper, so assuming Hyper is at fault right now, we'll check back in with that probably in the verdicts after the race. But that's going to put Hyper at more of a disadvantage. Anyone starting on hard could be thinking of a one-stop tonight.
Yeah, looking at obviously Richie in the number 1 Haas car down there, and obviously in P7, his teammate is going for the medium tyres, so Richie is certainly playing the long game. And I mean, he was saying it in the Haas chat, you know, it's the last race of the season, why not experiment a bit, you know, go out on a bit of a high for the last race. You know, he's not going to be with Haas next season, so you know, why not try something? And it's the same for Fozzie's down in 16th. Good to see him making his URC debut, along with Kajoko making his URC return for once. Probably one race off there, and Aston Martin down in 15th. So
yeah, just a quick
let's see how he gets on.
Actually, man, how is he fucking stupid? He slammed the throttle out of that corner. That corner, you don't do that anyway. You look on a fucking formation, man. Some people need to be fucking taken out at the first corner.
I'm very unhappy about his formation lap woes there.
A lot of frustration there.
But we're going to get ready here for 5 red lights here in Austria. Are we going to get held for a while? We are. It's lights out and away we go. And it's a poor start for Fran Bernoulli. The start bottle is back again. ORL Joker immediately takes the lead. FaZe Monkey's going to try and fight Fran up the inside. Gets through into P2. Hyper's dropped places down to 6th. Quiet Boy managed to find his way up to 4th. With the 2 guys on much colder tyres starting immediately behind him. The field is going to fan out into turn 3 right now. We've got people 3 wide, 2 wide. We've got a lot of contact in turn 3. There's a wheel lock for Johnsy Boy and Kloppo, who are dropped right to the back of the grid. And that's allowed a little bit of a gap for the 2 up in front of Joker and FaZe Monkey. Hyper is trying to find a way on Bluefoot, I think, already picked up a warning. Yari is down to 11th right now, which, I mean, after FA yesterday, is surprising that he's not even further down.
Yeah, very good start there for the likes of Joker. Fran losing 2 places. FaZe Monkey really making me surprised there. And Bluefoot managing to hold off Hyper is something I really wasn't expecting on the first lap. But we'll see how long he can keep that going. Yeah, difficult one there for Red Bull. Both Red Bulls down to 10th and 11th. But some of the bigger gains, I think Kajoko getting 2 places there, and Jitter Archie gaining 3 positions on lap 1.
Yeah, great start for Joker and FaZe Monkey. Fran actually nearly dropped out of DRS at the end of that one. I think Ben in P9 right now could have a chance into the hairpin. Is up the inside on the one scuffed camera angle we have of Richie W18. On the exit though, Richie getting much better traction and might just be able to keep himself up in that P8.
There goes FaZe Monkey on the inside. What a move!
FaZe Monkey gets back the lead of this race, and that's helped Fran out just a little bit, close back into these two. And what does FaZe Monkey have in the tank now to try and pull anything off? XD Tyler trying to find a way through on Kloppo. Switch back in the middle of turn 5, and it's a beautiful move for XD Tyler, and Kloppo dropped just straight to last after that move. DRS still for the entire field as our tyre strategies come up on the screen. It's a hard double medium or a 3-stop, which I don't think anyone's going to be thinking of in this race. But
yeah, it should be interesting. I think just a matter of seeing mediums to hards. That's saying maybe that could be it, or mediums to mediums. But it's going to be interesting to see this battle unfold as the car off. That's Ben in the kick Sauber.
Yeah, looks to have had a spin, and that's dropped him right the way down. Fran has
Fran
gone up the inside of both Joker and FaZe Monkey into turn 3. Gets P1 back on the road, while Hyper's still struggling. FaZe Monkey is going to try and fight back on Joker up the inside of turn 4. Can he get the move to stick? He's got a tighter line. He'll be taking less distance and just manages to keep that P2 position. Maybe to keep trying to have a go at Fran as Jitter Archie. Look at the gap he's already opened up in that midfield. At 1.8 seconds to everyone else. Bluefoot really trying to stick close to this group now. He's got to have some sort of protection from Hyper, who I think has also increased the wings. Very unhappy prior to the race with how his setup was looking.
Yeah, Bluefoot might be looking to get past Quiet Boy here maybe in a matter of time, but what a move there from Fran to get 2 places in the one corner. That's really the racing of a champion, and he's displaying it again on a track that so far he hasn't looked the strongest on, but he's caught these 2 boys sleeping.
Yeah, here goes Hyper to the inside of Bluefoot. He's got it all locked up. He's sideways and he's backwards. I think a little bit of contact, but he's now parked on the apex of turn 3. And look at how far that's dropped him back. It's P11. Is it going to be P12 or 13 even as Kajoko
gets past him?
Overtakes the guy fighting to keep P2 in this championship now. And really will have to fight. Kloppo spun round as well. Going to fall right back into Ben's hands. This has been certainly a start to the race, and Blue, I'm sure, quite happy. Fran probably happier, but this P2 battle in the drivers really about to heat up now that Hyper has dropped out of the contention.
Yeah, FaZe Monkey now making the biggest gains in that battle for P2 in the standings. He needs to gain a good bit of points. He's a bit further back from Hyper and Richie in the standings, but right now I think he's done just enough to get P3. Obviously Richie's in P8, so he might be having enough to secure P2, but he has got a time penalty, so FaZe Monkey could take advantage of that.
Yeah, even if Richie didn't drop back in the time penalty, as Fozzie's has got him into turn 3, even without that time penalty, FaZe Monkey is still on for P2 in the championship as it stands. Only needs 12 points to take that away from Richie in P2. Actually, no, only 11 because FaZe has 2 wins this season. So he would take the championship on that. ST, I think, no, that was Yari in the background. Yeah, FaZe Monkey has...
I think he only won Canada, if I'm correct.
Canada. Oh, yeah, he did. Sorry, I'm looking at the total counter of wins. and counting that to win. Hyper is having to fight Billy Whiz, who pushes him onto the grass. He is not going to be a happy camper in that Mercedes, really pushing on. I think might have just taken a track limits as well in the penultimate corner. Not what he needs. Fran, not able to do what you thought he'd want to, Sham, by getting away off the start. Still just kind of caught heading up a train, but keeping his battery in very good condition. I'm sorry, but we're not going to see Joker's battery for the entire race. Fozzies is making places this race. The racecraft looking good. He's P7 right now. Who has the DRS out of these two? Gillaracci, so he might just have to concede here unless he can send it straight back up the inside, but he's going to have Richie in the background as well, trying to look for it. Defensive from Fozzies. Richie can't find anything. Can Fozzies keep this position over Gillaracci? There's a little bit of wheel banging between the two of them. He's now got to try and hang it around the outside on a hard tyre that is only going to get better.
What a move.
And it's
Fozzies, what a
P7
move.
for Fozzies. That is some great racecraft, and here goes Richie as well, as we see Yari go barreling towards the barrier. Richie is still wheel to wheel with Gillaracci. Having to go offensive against Fozzies, and just to keep the position, attack as a form of defence, and it's a terrible run out of the final corner for Archie. Really going to be put under pressure by the Haas driver now, but into turn one, Hyper has joined the fray. Richie just kind of lets that go. Hyper now still charging forward. Hard compound tyres for Hyper, giving off the grip he needs. Gillaracci defends to the outside. Can Fozzies keep this position over Hyper?
Gillaracci fighting it as well.
Very late
incredible.
on the brakes. Look how wide he had to go. Broke so late. That wasn't even contact with Hyper. And now vulnerability once again to Richie's Haas car. And into turn 4. I think he just has to give this up unless Richie really makes a mistake.
Oh, Gillaracci half spin.
I think he tapped Richie's front right there. Just
I think he
unset
might
the
have,
car enough. But now Hyper charging back forward, and at such a pace as well. Was down to P13 just behind Kajoko a couple of laps ago, and now already in P8. He is aggressive today.
And look at Bluefoot here, Leo. He's lost so much time to the top 4, and he's on his own with ST and P6, so Bluefoot is looking vulnerable to losing a place in a matter of a lap as Gillaracci comes into the pits. But Fozzies has really impressed me. This is the guy who asked me before the race, could I get a full-time seat next season? I said, look, we'll see how you do tonight. And he's really impressing me ahead of season 12.
Yeah, Hyper, easy move on Fozzies. You wouldn't expect Fozzies really to put up too much of a challenge against the Mercedes driver, but maybe a comeback. Again, on this exit, if he has the battery, it doesn't look quite like he has enough to really fight Hyper into turn 4. He doesn't. But Gillaracci, the first into the pits, I'm assuming that is for a hard, but that will probably not make it to the end. So Gillaracci committing early to a 2-stop. Lap 7, the first pit stop of the race, and only 5 seconds behind Kloppo. Surprisingly, that shows the field spread we've had a bit further back. Kajoko is off in the grass. Has he made contact there? Because that's a very weird place to be completely off in the gravel. Yari takes back P13 in this race as Quiet Boy, the first leader to commit to a pit stop at the end of lap 8. So again, trying an undercut here, trying something different. Johnsy Boy's in, gets a speeding penalty. Wouldn't have been able to tell you who was in otherwise. What tyre is he going to go on to in that Williams car? Kajoko comes into the pits, and again, that's 2 people already who've sped, but Kajoko retires from the race. Enough for him. The 3 that have come in already, all choosing the hard compound tyres. Quiet Boy, if he can clear Yari quickly and efficiently, coming out in a very good spot as ST to the inside of Bluefoot. Clean and easy move for the Red Bull driver, but Bluefoot trying to come back on the exit. Can he do anything? No, he can't. The Aston Martin has to concede and sit in P5 just for the time being. But Blue doing very well.
I think
when
just too much pace. Too much pace from ST there, I think, in terms of comparing the driver's speed. But look at Bluefoot, he gets such a good slingshot here to the inside. Is he going to go for the move? Oh, he just couldn't commit. I think he was pitting anyway, Leo, but
yeah,
as you can see, Pays Monkey and Joker now. Yeah, so undercuts on Fran starting to occur. Hyper is going to be feeling quite good about this. A much clearer route back to the front. 8 seconds the gap to the leader for Fran. That is
for Hyper. That is, if I can unlock the iPad quickly enough, just under half a pit stop of a gap back to Fran. But he's going to be closing all the time. Those hard compound tyres are going to do better. Fran, I expect to see in at the end of this lap, because he is being really threatened right now by everyone who's just come in on the undercut. And Quiet Boy, you see, has jumped FaZe and Joker, just showing how well that undercut is working around here. So maybe Quiet Boy about to take the lead of this race.
Yeah, he's looking at taking his second win of the season. Obviously, he won back in Qatar, so the fact that he's managed to pull this undercut and make it work. But look at FaZe Monkey already putting him under pressure through the second sector.
Yeah, Fran into the pits. And so is ST. So clear track in the lead for Hyper and Richie, both on the alternate strategy now. What are they going to be able to do? And now the question is, where is Quiet Boy? He's just coming through the final corner now. Gets onto the main straight. Battery is in good condition for him. No fastest lap, surprisingly. Despite being on those tyres for a couple laps, he's going to be under pressure from FaZe Monkey. But what pressure is Fran going to be put under here? Because
Fran's
Joker
lost so many places, Leo.
Yeah, Joker comes out in P6. Just ahead, though, of Fran. The undercut has worked beautifully for Quiet Boy in this stint. He is now P4 on the track, and Fran really needs to make an effort to come back in this race. A DRS gap open from Joker to Quiet Boy, who's getting attacked by FaZe Monkey into turn 4. Can FaZe Monkey take the position? And that's quite easy for the Haas driver. And then now, right on the back of a Mercedes, though, of XD Tyler, out there on old medium tyres. So this could be really interesting to where the state of the race moves to. But no, it's not, because he spun. The pressure was on. He's put it straight into the gravel at the first sight of a bit of pressure. But look at this up in front as well. Hyper must be struggling or something. Look at how close Richie is. He's not really dropping back.
Yeah, he's not pulling away.
Interestingly enough, we'll have to see out of turn. We'll have to see at the end of this lap. The gap was about 9 seconds to start the lap from Hyper to FaZe Monkey. It's a yellow flag in the pit entry.
Richie's going to get Hyper here as well.
Again. Yeah, here goes Richie. Hyper not have the battery to do anything. Richie takes the lead here in Austria. And that's really going to hurt Hyper now, because Hyper needs to try and get away for the Drivers' Championship, as FaZe Monkey and Quiet are still battling it out. But Quiet's still not able to keep that P1. But this has allowed Joker and Fran right back into the fray. Now the big question is, what are these guys' pit laps? Is Hyper thinking of a stop? I mean, he looks to be on the pit entry, and he is. Hyper.
He's in, Leo, yeah.
Early stop for Hyper off the hards, I think necessary, though, if he wants to stand any chance at getting a good enough position in this race to win. Into the pits he must go. I'm sure that's a second hard tyre for Hyper.
Mediums.
No, first medium. Is he running double medium or double hard here? Because that double medium to the end may be a bit of a struggle. We were watching Richie out in front, but look at how good this train is. P1 to P4, separated by less than a second. There goes Quiet Boy,
what a move.
Takes the position. Here goes Fran Bernoulli up the inside of Joker. Does Joker have better traction on the exit? The wider run for Joker gives him the better traction. Just able to get that car straightened up a bit better, but Fran is going to be fighting him constantly up the inside of Joker. Gets the car stopped on the apex nicely, and P3 for the current champion.
Yeah, great move there from Fran as well, up the inside of Joker. He needs that to... But as you were saying, Leo, this is an insane train right now, and Quiet Boy with a huge move there up into turn 3. Looking like to see what he can do now. FaZe Monkey has been really impressive this race as well. He's trying to keep that race lead, but Quiet Boy has the pace as well. He's chasing his second win of the season. So is FaZe Monkey. Fran I think is chasing his 5th win of the season. So it's been an incredible opening 14 laps.
Yeah, Fran has had only 3 wins this season, by the way, Cam. So this would be his 4th overall. The only person to match the win count is Hyper, who's also on 3. But look at how close Fran is to the back of Quiet Boy, and everyone really here just sticking together in what is becoming a beautiful little formation. FaZe Monkey currently in the lead. Can Quiet Boy hang it around the outside? It's a very tough place to do it, and FaZe will just have better traction on that exit. But crucially, having to burn a bit of battery on the exit to keep it too. Hyper is in a bad spot right now, Shamrock, which I don't think we've really discussed so far. Hyper come out in P10.
Stuck behind Jitter Archie as well, which you just know he's not going to make it easy for the Mercedes to pass him. Maybe I stand different, but look at Hyper taking this inside line over the Ferrari. Jitter Archie probably won't fight this, but he tries to, but just with the tires, they're not the same as a fresh pair of mediums, and Hyper just gets past. Now the next car, Fuzzies, who has been really impressive, but again, I just think Hyper is going to get past him very, very quickly, as Quiet Boy and FaZe Monkey are battling once again, and Fran gets up the inside of the Haas.
Yeah, Fran with the DRS. FaZe Monkey, everyone was too close there for comfort. FaZe Monkey just wasn't given the opportunity to do anything. Can he go back up the inside of Fran? No. Fran to the inside of Quiet Boy. This should be a switch back for Quiet Boy. Is FaZe Monkey going to follow here on the outside here of turn 5? Can't do anything, trying to switch it back to the inside. The front end just not there, but here goes FaZe Monkey into turn 6. He's on the inside. No contact somehow.
God.
That is some great fighting.
That is
between
amazing.
the Malteser and FaZe Monkey.
The Malteser.
Look, it just makes sense. We have the Belgian Waffle and the Malteser on the grid right now. But when is FaZe Monkey going to be able to try and do anything back against Fran, because he's now got Joker aggressive on him? Richie has only just come in for a stop, and look at the time that this has lost him to Hyper.
Yeah.
He's going to come out maybe in
Jonesy Boy's out in the pits.
Yeah, Jonesy Boy maybe just giving up on the race a little bit. FaZe Monkey trying to look on the inside. Was really stopped on that apex. That's a compromised run for FaZe Monkey on board with the scuffed camera angle as ST disconnects. Connection issues occurring again for the German, but Joker now really trying to fight his way past FaZe Monkey, but just can't find a way through.
Oh, I haven't got ST added.
Well, luckily we've got a moment where hopefully no one goes for a move, and I can try and get ST back in the lobby. I've sent him an invite, so we can pray and only pray that he comes back in.
Yeah, that would be a shame for Red Bull if he can't get back in.
Yeah, yellow flags on the track right now. Jitter Archie's had a moment, I think, because in the middle sector, he was very slow in turn 4. Not turn 4, turn 5. But look at this train out in front. FaZe Monkey pulling out of the slipstream, actually. Hyper gets past ST's disconnected car. Probably the easiest move he'll make in a URC race. Now Fran needs to be tactical with it, or is he just going to send it straight to the inside? It's a double front lockup. Just barely for him. Jitter Archie ties in the pits. But now look at this. Quiet Boy is going to have a chance to come back. Does Fran have the battery to really defend this pass? DRS for Quiet Boy. Nothing for Fran. But on the outside, Quiet Boy going to be forced to take the long way around. He is using the battery though. He wants this lead position.
Oh, they make contact.
Fran's going to try hang it round the outside. There was a little bit more wheel bang. There's still wheel to wheel. And Fran Bernoulli just about manages to keep the lead quickly. Back to inviting ST because he only has me added. Oh my god, game, please. Don't give me communicating with online services right there. But now, Fran Bernoulli reassumes the lead. Remember, he has a 2-lap tyre delta to FaZe and Joker. 1 lap to Quiet Boy.
Bluefoot gets a penalty.
Yeah, Blue, not a great race for him so far. Quiet Boy really now needs to put some pressure on Fran before the pressure is put on him.
Because Richie. He's hit the wall.
Richie's hit
I don't know if he has damage or not. But
doesn't
he's
look to have damage, no. On the exit
rejoin
turn,
is a bit dodgy as well, but
exit of turn 3, FaZe was very close to Quiet Boy. Couldn't do anything. Quiet Boy got a good run, but can't do anything on Fran Bernoulli. I think this is going to turn into the first stint all over again for this top 4. Just people trying to hold on to their position, but Quiet Boy not willing to give it up that easily. Trying to find ways through on Fran, even in unorthodox places right now. XD Tyler picks up a 3-second time penalty for his various shenanigans in this race so far. But ST now back in the race in P8 right now, just behind Fozzie's net P7 because of penalties. Thankfully enough for him. But Fran Bernoulli is just in immense control right now and needs to do his best to hold on.
Yeah, it looks like Fran is just getting into a rhythm now and kind of settling into, settling in with the car in this race and just getting into the groove. Quiet Boy's put the pressure on, but he doesn't have the battery that Fran has to try and put a fight towards him. Maybe if he gets a good exit there, the DRS will help. But as you can see, this DRS train, Leo, no one's able to really get that close to each other to start making moves.
Yeah, it could just be a battery conservation thing as well. The guys behind Fran a little bit lower on battery because they were defending so hard for so many laps and just trying to fight it all out in the best way possible, and Fran was just capitalizing on every mistake. Didn't have to use much battery for what he needed to do. Further back, Richie and Yari are having a little ding-dong, and Quiet Boy has already ducked to the pit in. He is entering the pit lane very early for his second stint. That is...
Yeah, interesting decision there by Quiet Boy, I have to say.
That's very early for Quiet Boy. 17 to the end is doable on a hard, and maybe just trying to switch the strategy up here. Might come out... I think he comes out just ahead of Richie, honestly. And it'll be a decent chunk of clean air. I mean, the gamble could pay off here, but it's whether it pays off long term. Short term, this will do great things for Quiet Boy, but also this has left Fran with no pressure from behind. So Fran's slowly but surely going to be able to pull away.
He has pulled away from FaZe. He's almost gained 1.5 seconds, so he's in completely clean air, under no pressure from FaZe behind. And FaZe has Joker to keep him company, so he's not going to be able to kind of focus on Fran now. He's got to look on the car behind, who has DRS, and Bluefoot in kind of a world of his own here, but Hyper has him in his sights now as well. So, and these guys made contact on the formation lap, so I think we can expect a bit of an angry Hyper on the back of the man from Swords.
Yeah, Joker's already making his response, pitting end of lap 20 for his second stint. There's a yellow flag on the back straight.
It's Tyler.
XD Tyler's really bottled it. Is he stuck?
Is he beached?
Should be a question. I mean, he's not exactly trying to go forward right now. And that's a VSC out on the track as XD Tyler.
He's not going anywhere.
Trying to get himself going again. But was that tactics from Merc? XD Tyler falls a lap down.
The rejoin is a bit questionable from Tyler there.
I mean, Tyler really just doing nothing. Is he trying to
just
cause
stopping?
A safety car?
I mean, I have a clear POV of this, Leo, so I'm not sure what he's trying to do here, but he gets moving again.
I mean, he spun on the straight, stopped for an awfully long time. I think he was trying to cause a full safety car there.
Possibly.
And I don't know if that's tactical for Merc, because I don't know what Hyper has left in terms of tyres. Blue is coming into the pits right now. Hyper's going to stay out for a bit longer. Fran Bernoulli has pitted as well once the safety car has come in.
And FaZe Monkey staying out.
FaZe Monkey and Hyper 1-2 right now. XD Tyler picks up a 3-second time.
Disqualified. Yeah, I mean, that's
Tyler
probably...
disqualified. VSC!
What is going on with Mercedes here? What are their tactics?
I think XD Tyler just took his whole front wing off and caused a VSC and then got disqualified because while taking that off, he got too many penalties.
Wow. That is... Yeah, that's... I don't know what he's doing there.
That's also not helped his teammate. Like, Fran has just come out of the pits, as is Quiet Boy, as is Blue, as is... So, Fran and Blue boxed on that lap under the VSC. Ben and Yari are getting a cheap pit stop right now as well. But they came in under VSC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had a bit of VSC for their pit stop, so Fran is just benefiting from this, as is Blue, who are both just getting an opportunity to bring their tyres in maybe a bit nicer, Fran has come out right on the back of Quiet Boy, who was expecting a massive undercut in this race. Because he was going to be going that much longer on tyres. I don't know if Fran would have planned to pit that lap, but interesting tactics as FaZe Monkey pulls into the pit lane. Hyper will take the lead of this race, but certainly an investigation to be done after the session here. ST gets spun on the pit entry, makes contact with the pit wall.
No.
Trying to enter the pits, I think maybe off the back of Quiet Boy or Fran. Had a little spin. We'll have to see if that was just on his own, but Fran Bernoulli now in a great position and has gained to Hyper because of that pit stop. The gap is a little bit smaller now, and really, Quiet Boy going to be very annoyed with Tyler here. Hyper might be very annoyed. The ones who benefited are Bluefoot. The one who benefited really was Bluefoot from all that. Yari's benefited a bit. And Ben, who both got cheap pit stops under the VSC. Bluefoot is going for it on Billy Wiz. It should be an easy move. Fresh hards for the Aston Martin.
Yeah, he gets
and
the
it
move
is.
done there.
Straight through for Blue. Fran really doesn't have to do anything right now. He could sit behind quiet, save some tyres, and go for it at the end. I mean, I know that's not how Fran likes to go motor racing, but, you know, it'd be very much a good strategy. Save all his tyres, all he wants, right to the end. And then, just, you know, 3-4 laps from the end, he can just go for it. Quiet Boy with the fastest lap, 106.5. Decent lap from him. As Joker has got Billy Wiz now into turn 1 and now heads that train.
Billy Wiz kind of just a sitting duck, but what I was trying to talk about during the VSC is Haas and their decisions to pit late. You can see it's cost them a little bit. P6 and P8, their pit stop decisions hasn't really paid off for them in this race.
Quiet Boy and Fran having a little ding dong right now. Fran has cleared Quiet Boy, but Quiet Boy is going to try and fight it back. I just don't think has the pace to do anything about the Ferrari driver, who now really just has a race to himself. Joker, who was right on the back of that, is now 4 seconds behind. FaZe Monkey is just behind Joker. You know, it's really not worked out for Joker and FaZe Monkey and Quiet Boy. All who chose to pit strategically. Hyper in the pits. And this, I'm guessing, is for a medium all the way to the end. It is. So 12 laps to go. Hyper will put on a fresh set of tyres. How much does he lose now, though? Look at this. P6 already. He's just on the pit exit. He's going to come out in P8. Yeah, P7, luckily, because Billy Wiz is boxed. Would have been P8, and now it's a big job, a big ask for Hyper to get the win from the end here. Billy Wiz retires in the pits in the end.
Yeah, big shame for him to end his season like that, really, because I think he's had some good moments this year. But if he's back for season 12, I'd like to see him definitely go again and do better.
Yeah, pulling up the gaps to the leaders now. So Hyper came out 11.3 behind Fran Bernoulli, Quiet Boy in 1 and 2. It's going to be a big ask to the end, I think. Under full green flag conditions in that car on tyres that will begin to go off slowly but surely against hards that are going to be better in a few laps to try and get this win. But can he pull himself maybe back to a podium? Bluefoot currently sitting on the podium as FaZe Monkey takes the fastest lap and actually takes that sat behind Joker. So FaZe Monkey might have a bit of pace in him right now.
Yeah. And he's looking like he can get a move done here on Joker. Maybe. No, he's going to sit behind. It's good patience from FaZe Monkey here. He should be able to get the move done now on the Sauber. Get up into P4.
Just had such an exit though, so it's going to be made a bit more difficult for the Haas driver, who's going to take a look to the inside. A little bit of contact on the rear wheel. A little hook there on the straight. FaZe Monkey is pushing Joker, trying to get him to go forward in this race. And Hyper has finally caught up to Richie. Gap 10.1 seconds to the lead. Richie obviously on a medium compound tyre himself, but Hyper...
Richie got out the way.
So efficient. I don't even think he got out of the way. I think Hyper's just that efficient. Right now, he's got that much more pace. Because look, Richie is still fighting that against Hyper.
Yeah.
Richie can't afford to not fight Hyper because it's his championship battle that he's in. His
Exactly. I think that's just what he's prioritizing
right now. But Hyper 9.9 to the lead now. We've got that delta permanently on screen now because that's really what we're trying to look at. How quickly can Hyper get to the lead, if at all? Joker's bottled it on the straight.
Oh.
He's spun on the exit, made contact with the wall. No damage, I think, for Joker. And Hyper is going to be seeing that and be thinking, that's a nice bit of DRS I'm going to have in a few laps. I don't think he'd quite say it like that, but you know, I'm not Irish.
Well, it's a good opportunity for Hyper here now to get into the top 5, you know, maybe seal the deal on P2 because the pace is with him. He's looking like the faster driver out on track. I'd say it's between him and FaZe Monkey for the fastest driver out on track, but Fran is really keeping his composure, and Quiet Boy's not really been able to put any pressure on him.
Yeah, currently as it stands, Hyper would get that P2 in the championship, and Richie is coming into the pits now, which just, I think, seals his championship fight at this point. So it's between Hyper and FaZe. FaZe has to outscore Hyper by 9 points at this point. And currently, there's only a 4-point deficit for Hyper. So championship very much still on for security in that P2, and Quiet Boy now dropping a little bit compared to Fran. Not surprising, the tyres are worse on the V-carb, but needs to try and stick with him because he doesn't want to fall back into the clutches of Blue, into the clutches of FaZe Monkey. As Hyper again steadily closing that gap lap after lap. Just finding a second, I think, a lap, maybe half a second a lap. But that delta continuously going to fall away for him, and pain is going to start coming in. Apparently his controller was trying to do stuff for XD Tyler, so be interesting to see.
Interesting claim.
I think the investigation will have to go on to after the race. Hyper now has DRS to Joker, who started to struggle a little bit more. And Hyper should try and slingshot himself past. But he's used all the battery already just to try and get right up to Joker. He's going to have beautiful traction on this exit, and knowing how Hyper likes to step on the throttle.
FaZe Monkey might get Blue, and he does get him here up into P3 for FaZe Monkey, and another podium for himself this season, which does that increase that gap, Leo, in the standings?
It would currently, but it's only a 2-point delta still. FaZe Monkey would need P2, and Hyper could not gain another place right now. If Hyper finished P2, the drivers would be over for that P2 battle. But FaZe Monkey currently the one looking to try and get up there. Hyper needs to really stay in P6, and FaZe Monkey's realistic chances to get Quiet Boy in P2 to seal his P2 in the Constructors. But Hyper, much better tyres, and has kept the battery in a bit of a better condition this lap, maybe. Now with the chance to get Joker and start running away towards Bluefoot, the guy that took him out on the formation lap. Bluefoot really hasn't fallen away from FaZe Monkey, but Hyper has cleared Joker. And how well did he do it? Hyper, textbook overtake into turn 3. You can only tell that because he has the DRS on the exit. So Hyper now going to be nice and chill. Oh wow, a lot of discussion in the Hash channel. Richie said to go underfueled. Apparently, they were looking at a Tom 97 PSGL stream to go 0.6 under fuel. That's what I'm seeing on my secondary monitor here. Leopold coming with all the data now that I can see all the chats in the server. And all the data I already previously had. Hyper, 7.7 to the lead. I think his chance of winning this race is now gone. Quiet Boy's chance of winning has totally fallen apart at this point. Fran just pulling away lap after lap now. Bluefoot going for it back on FaZe Monkey. Gets himself into the podium positions again. Remember, Blue with that 3-second time penalty that Hyper doesn't have. So net P4 for Hyper now. FaZe Monkey under a lot of risk, and FaZe Monkey does immediately get that position back. As Hyper gets a penalty.
How did he do that?
That was entry, maybe?
Did he go wide or something? Or
he either took it too hard on the entry or used that inside too much. We saw in qualifying, I think someone overcooked it on that inside, easy enough to do. But Hyper now needs to clear.
This brings Joker right back into the mix, maybe, with trying to upset Hyper here.
Yeah, and Hyper needs to clear Bluefoot now. That is his aim. This top 6 is kind of all pulled away at this point from the rest of the grid. Look at it, 23 seconds from the leader to Fozzie's, only 8 from the leader to Joker. And really, if Hyper clears Bluefoot, it's still championship over. That is the only consideration now. FaZe Monkey, even if he finished P2, would have to see Hyper in P6. Joker will probably stick with them, but Hyper's starting to struggle. Those mediums are not what they used to be.
Yeah, and obviously FaZe can see Quiet Boy now, but the interesting battle is between obviously Red Bull and Sauber. I think Sauber might be able to overtake Red Bull here again after this race, considering where the points standing. Obviously got Joker P6, Ben in P8, and then ST and Yari 9, 11. Wow.
Well, we had to get a 9-11 joke in somewhere. Richie on 6 seconds.
We had to.
Actually, I don't think Sauber will do it. I think Joker's going to get 12th. But looking at the penalty situation, Fozzie's on 6. If ST and Ben can close on Fozzie's, then ST will probably get P8 in this race. And Yari's sticking close enough to where he's going to get Ben as well. So permutations up and down the grid at this point for what could change in different areas of the championship. Racing Bulls having a good
There's also the battle for
now.
4th, Leo, between Aston, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Mercedes, and, well, McLaren aren't here tonight, so they're out of it, but between those 4 teams, it's very interesting. Aston, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Mercedes. Bluefoot's doing the best he can for that right now, but Quiet Boy as well. There in P2, you got Mercedes, obviously you got Hyper still in the scenario. Alpine, Billy Wiz has kind of sealed their fate. So Aston Martin, Racing Bulls and Mercedes, the 3 teams that are in contention for this 4th place right now on track.
Yeah, and I can tell you this, based on what we've got right now, Alpine, their only car not in the race anymore. It's between really Aston and Racing Bulls, and currently Aston are doing enough, even with penalties stacked on top of this. Aston more than in a great position to keep this championship. Kloppo has had an incident at turn 1. Yari's going to be one of the people. There's going to be a few people coming up to turn 1 right now. We've got Fozzie's and Kloppo. Has he hit the inside wall? It was a bit late for a safety car. He must have done. But
yeah,
that
his wing is there.
Out the window. ST, Ben and Fozzie's, ST, Ben and Richie, sorry, are all going at it. Richie, freshest tyres of them all. Richie took a look to the inside.
Ben pushing him through the corner there.
Yeah, both of these guys are currently susceptible to ST, who's looking like getting P7 here. As it stands, this battling could do great for Yari as well. Yari is close enough to Ben and Richie to take their positions. Richie, who was in P2 of the drivers coming into this race, could see himself drop to P4 in the drivers afterwards, because his teammate and Hyper doing much better in this race. And look at that on the exit. Richie, those fresh tyres are showing their potential right now. Easily past Ben on the exit. A little bit of scuffle going on.
Is Yari on for 7th here?
He is, because ST just got 6 seconds of time penalties. If Fozzie's can pull a defensive masterclass here, and if Fozzie's is slow, which we know he can be, Yari gets 7th. In a season where Yari has scored 28 combined points. Here goes ST on Fozzie's. A little bit of contact in turn 3. Fozzie's trying to get the exit. and really having to fight against that Red Bull to take the position. Fozzie's doesn't have the battery. ST switches to the inside. Richie's going to try and follow them through. ST takes P7. There's contact. Is that a wheel hook? Maybe. Fozzie's is sideways. Hits Richie, who's got wing damage now. Those fresh tyres are going to be worthless with half a front wing. Fozzie's is sent round into Ben, and through goes Yari into the points on track, because there was an absolute disaster class from Fozzie's in the Williams, and this is more and more looking like a Yari race. And I've just noticed, Shamrock, it's the final lap. FaZe Monkey is on the back of Quiet Boy right now for what will be a podium position, but this is the last real opportunity on the track. He doesn't seem to have the battery in the car. He's not got the run. But as it stands, it's been a champion's drive for this season's champion. He wrapped it up last weekend in Monaco, even with a little bit of drama attached to it. The P1 spot keeps his name in URC. Fran Bernoulli is going to round the final couple of corners. He got back literally as the lobby was about to go ready to start this session. He plugged in his wheel, he got in the rig, and he wins in Austria. FaZe Monkey gets a 3-second penalty. It's P2 for Quiet Boy, P3 for FaZe. That's going to fall to P5 as Joker gets the podium on penalties. And that seals it. Hyper P2, FaZe P3. Richie could not do enough this race. After penalties, he might be level with FaZe Monkey. ST will come home P7 on the track. It'll be 8th for Richie.
Richie's gone straight
very wide. But it's going to be 8th for Ben on track. It's 9th for Yari, which turns to 7th after penalties. Richie celebrating the constructors being wrapped up. A little bit of BM against the Williams driver who just goes past him. Right now, Fozzie's is going to finish the race in P10. My, oh my. Yari comes back. He's still going to maintain what was his P13 in the Drivers' Championship. Richie, celebrations maybe have cost him there, keeping the title. I'll have to take a look at the gaps afterwards, but his celebrations may have cost him taking his P2 or keeping that P3. Hyper P2 in the Constructors, FaZe Monkey P3, and then Richie P4, and then 2 reserves. That shows how good they were earlier in the season. Will be P6 and 7 because Quiet Boy will jump up after what was a great performance to P6. To P5, sorry, in the Drivers' Champ. P6 actually, yeah. Because Luca96, who's not raced since his last race was Japan. And he's still beaten Quiet Boy, who joined just after Luca left the grid. But what a race from our champion in Fran Bernoulli. And what a race from everyone on the grid. Richie comes home with the fastest lap of the race. But Fran wins from Quiet Boy. Joker kept it clean. Didn't get a penalty. That's P3 for him. FaZe Monkey 4th. Just not enough to seal the Constructors. 5th for Blue. 6th for Hyper. Somehow Yari gets away with 7th. Because penalties galore behind. 8th for ST. 9th for Ben. 10th for Fozzie's. And with a little bit of over-celebration, which I think cost him. I'll have to run the numbers again, at least beating his teammate. Richie comes home, P11. Kloppo, after DNFing on lap 32, classified 4 laps down from the end. We will be back very shortly for interviews with, I'm sure, plenty of people who are going to want to chat at the end of this season.
Happy days, happy days. Fran, welcome back to the podium. It's becoming a familiar place for you this season. That's your fourth
Yeah, the
win?
top step. That's my fourth win, yes.
Unbelievable, man. Truly a champion's drive tonight. And I think you had a few moments, obviously, where you had a good battling with FaZe Monkey, Joker, and Quiet
Yeah,
Boy.
can
So,
I just say, I love racing those three guys. Like, I love, like, every race, we just get so much good racing. Us three, and plus ST, but today he had a really shocking race, so I
yeah.
wish he was there as well. But yeah, those four are so good at racing, it's actually unbelievable.
Maybe something in the books for next season's championship. Would you like to be racing them again? Where's he gone?
Fran has disconnected, so something's gone on there. Oh, he's back. There we
Sake,
go.
Fran.
There we go. Nice internet, Fran.
Fran, I was asking if they were drivers you like to be racing again next season.
Yes, of course, man. Yes, definitely. They're all getting faster as well. I have to actually push. Are we still here? What
Obviously,
is happening right now?
how did you find qualifying?
I was actually surprised I got pole. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I plugged in my wheel 2 minutes like before the lobby started,
Oh
and
my
I did
god.
no practice whatsoever. So I mean, I think I am naturally fast at the game, even though I don't enjoy it. So yeah, it was just shocking.
So, looking at the race, it went well for you. Looking at qualifying, it was more of a surprise. But Fran, I think it's time you announce who you are driving for next season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so like happy that the race ended the way it did today, because it means my chapter with Ferrari ends in such a good way. And you know
Mhm,
how many times I've said this, Sham, how many
mhm.
times I wanted to drive for Ferrari, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
raced
of
with them
course.
F122.
Yeah,
I was supposed to become a star. I was supposed to be a star boy, but it never really worked, did it? When I went to
didn't.
Ferrari,
No.
so that's why I joined them this season. Like, I'm so thankful for Aston as well. Aston got me my first win, of course, but
Yeah, of course.
I had to rewrite the Ferrari chapter in the URC career, because it was just so disappointing. And it's so good to end on a win in Ferrari colors, but of course every good chapter comes to an end, and another chapter that I just have to finish that didn't really work out in URC is Red Bull Racing. So I hereby announce that I will be racing for Red Bull Racing next season, and I've really butchered that.
Yeah, obviously Red Bull haven't had a successful season since season 5, and Rian
Yeah.
was their last drivers' champion. So I don't know. And Leopold, obviously, you've seen Red Bull this season, Yari and ST, but obviously your teammates. What are you kind of going for next season with Red Bull?
I mean, why not 2 titles? That's all I'm gonna say. I
We'll
think
see.
I really want a constructor, so I mean, I will push for the drivers, but like, I know how fast Hyper is and how good he is, and I also know how good ST and FaZe Monkey are. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But I will focus a bit on the constructors. I mean, this season, going into the season, I just wanted to get some podiums and maybe my first win, and I ended up winning the championship. Um, People can say it was controversial the way I won it, but like you can see today, I won by 6 seconds. I deserve that championship. So
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, before we get Richie in here, going into your 12th season, Fran, it's, well, not your 12th season, but like, I think it's like
maybe my eighth. I think it's gonna be my eighth.
your eighth, yeah. Eighth season in URC. You have your championship. Obviously, the next goal is the constructors. And then where do you go from there is obviously another question to ask next season, but it's a clear target is maybe the constructors title.
It is, yeah.
Leo, anything to add, or shall we let Fran go?
I think that you covered everything, Sham. Very good job from you indeed this season, friend. I mean, let's see what you can do next season
Cheers,
in
Leo.
what should be
It couldn't have been done without your setups. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, next season. The pressure's on for me to get good setups because they were terrible for half the season.
Not to be fair, they were good from Zandvoort onwards. So
Yeah, Zambor was when I
appreciated.
started getting good setups, friend.
Fair enough.
So that's why they're good.
And hopefully the calendar is a bit better than this season.
Oh, trust me, it is.
Thank you, Sham. I
Absolutely
appreciate
is
it.
better.
I just hope there's no Silverstone, so Hyper can go a season without a win.
It'll all be revealed in the
Also,
club.
have you seen the Hyper ball today? Honestly, I wonder where. This is a
Stop,
time for
man.
me since I'm live right now, because he's always laughing at me in Formula Aero. This is a time for me to laugh. Ha ha ha! The Hyper bottle is back.
Maybe URC is your domain over Hyper.
Honestly, I'm so
territory.
washed in Formula Aero. But that's okay, because I get to school Hyper and
you care about
URC.
this. You care about this more. Say it with chest.
No, I do.
This is your home.
I've always said URC is my main priority as league.
I'm ARL. Come on.
No, but like the one I'm driving in, mate.
Oh,
I don't drive in Aero. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right, will we get Richie in here, Leo?
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll bring Richie in. Thanks for coming along, friend, once again. And now, Richie, welcome in. You are live before you start screaming down the mic. Constructor's title for you this season. Obviously, some beautiful donuts in the end. So, I mean, just what a season for Haas since it was you and FaZe Monkey.
I mean, couldn't really do without FaZe Monkey, to be honest. He carried me, I'll be honest. I think he got one win. I did nothing. It was all FaZe Monkey. And I can't forget Gaffo as well. The occasional setup stolen straight from Leo.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say it was all FaZe Monkey, Richie. Obviously, to the end, you were still fighting for the Drivers' Championship being in P2. Obviously, sacrifices made today for the team, but between you and FaZe Monkey, I mean, what a season it's been in general. Next season, obviously, unfortunately, you don't get to pick where you go, but would you hope to be back with FaZe Monkey trying to go back-to-back on championships?
Yeah, that's my dream. That's probably won't be likely.
I mean, we'll have to see. It was a different strategy from you today, Richie. Starting on the hardware, most decided for a medium. Do you think that cost you anything in the race day?
Well, I did misclick. I went for balanced instead of harder compounds. So I didn't choose it. I had to just go with it. It did probably cost me a top 5, but it doesn't really matter. You're on the constructors. It's all that matters.
Is that all you have to ask, Leo? Hello? Gone. What's gone?
Oh, it's back? Oh, yeah.
Your
it's
mic.
back. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I was sorry, Mike decided to completely cut out there for a minute. Don't know what happened. I was just going to ask, obviously, you and FaZe Monkey close in drives this season and kept it close enough towards the end with Fran. Do you think with a bit more pace next season you might be able to fight for a drivers as well?
Probably not a drivers. I think a P2 or P3 is probably on the cards with a bit more practice and medium TC or no.
All right, interesting. Sham, I'm going to hand over to you now because I think my hardware is deciding to give up a little bit now.
Yeah. Yeah, Richie, look, I think, I was saying it to, obviously, well done tonight, doing your donuts. I really respect it.
Thank you.
Obviously, I think some of the parts of the race didn't go to plan for yourself, but no, I think overall, Haas after round 2 were on 2 points, and the changes then going into Canada, you and FaZe Monkey as a lineup together. I think this constructors is really deserved. I don't think any other team deserved it because you two worked really hard as two teammates. You were consistently scoring points, scoring podiums. You were always up there in the race weekends in terms of qualifying and the races. So I think it's a constructors championship that's deservedly going to Haas. Obviously, I think what makes it a bit special as well, you're only the second driver lineup to win a constructors championship for Haas since season 2. So since 9 seasons, Haas haven't won anything. So definitely take a bit of pride in that. For you guys, you've drove an amazing season yourself as a driver. You've really come a long way. So fair play to you on that one. And just hopefully, as you said there, with a bit more practice, you'll be up there again next season. And I'm sure you will be in the top 5, easily in the top 5. If all things go well, then a podium. So, yeah, look, I just hope you've enjoyed racing here this season.
Yeah, it's first season and I've enjoyed it quite a lot. So I hope to be back next season and definitely get some more podiums.
Absolutely, man. I just want to ask, obviously, ahead of the team reveals and everything, is there a team preference that you have, like a car that you enjoy racing on this game?
I like the V-Carb for the, I think it's Miami livery. I like that one. That's probably my preference.
Okay, that's noted. Interesting. It's good that everyone has a bit of a preference in terms of their cars. But yeah, look, we'll see how it all comes and who's your teammate. Obviously, your target for next season, as you said, is podiums. But is there any particular track you'd like to see?
Probably Brazil. I like Brazil quite a lot.
Okay, interesting. That's good. That's good. Leo, he knows, he has some good knowledge on tracks. Brazil is definitely one I back. But what would, other than winning the constructors, Richie, which is probably your highlight of the season, is there any other moment that you felt was one of your biggest achievements this season, from starting the season to now the end?
I'd probably say my first podium, which was in Japan with V-Carb.
Yeah.
That was quite a good race because I wasn't really doing well before it, but I knew I had the pace and I showed that I had it.
Absolutely. Well, look, Richie, we'll let you go. Well done again tonight, and yeah, enjoy the celebrations with FaZe. Haas obviously are now confirmed the season 11 constructors champions. Leo, we'll have a few moments to talk to the stream after Richie goes about season 12, if that's okay.
That's perfect. Hopefully my hardware holds together. Well, obviously, you're the one who knows everything. I've kind of forgotten everything you've told me, Shamrock, so go ahead.
Yes. So, folks, I talked a bit about season 12 in the Monaco post-race debrief. I talked about it briefly. And I'll talk about a bit more in detail as well about in the Austria post-race debrief, which will probably be tomorrow night or over the weekend. So we're looking at how long we should take a break for between season 11 and season 12. I was thinking, given the time frame we have until the 2026 DLC, we want to get one more season on these cars. I can say season 12 will be 8 races long, with no break week, by the way, because we are on a time constraint. So, Leo, I think if this sounds good to you, we will have a 1 week rest break.
Yeah, I got a week off. Free holiday.
A paid holiday.
Free paid holiday. Let's go. I'm just trying to look into every rumor about the 26 DLC right now. The expected release is April 29th, apparently.
Perfect.
But I'm not quite sure because apparently there's meant to be official confirmation already about it. According to the season in F1 game, there is 3 months of season from today, so it might be looking at a late May, early June release as well. So I think we've also got to look at what rumors we get about 26 DLC coming out.
Perfect. Well, what I can say then with that is that season 12 will be the last season on these cars, and then what we'll be doing after that is probably just a bunch of testing, practice races, kind of get into grips with drivers ahead of the 2026 DLC, and then 2026 DLC will be on season 13. But that's a while away from now. The calendar, as I said, is 8 races. We have 2 sprints, a sprint in round 3 and a sprint in round 7. The sprint format, and I'll say it again, sprint format is 2021 format, meaning there'll be no qualifying sessions will take place. It will be a sprint race, which will be in reverse championship order for the sprint. That sprint then sets the grid for the main race, which should be a very interesting weekend, and that will apply to both round 3 and round number 7. The calendar reveal will be done first after the week break. I haven't got a date confirmed. I'll just put it in announcements after, so do pay attention to that. And then after the calendar reveals, we'll have the driver reveals. So you know Fran is racing with Red Bull. That is one driver confirmed out of the other 19. We've aimed to go with a bit of a driver cap this season, so there is, I think, one or two or three quick additions coming in next season, but not that many. Because you don't want rapid people in to make the races boring. We do want to try and keep the championship that we have finished off with this season as well. And I think Hyper and Fran have some unfinished business on track, or Hyper certainly has some business left out there for next season. We will also be announcing some overtake awards before the calendar and driver reveals, so I'll be opening a best overtake of the season somewhere in the Discord after this for drivers to submit their best overtake of the season. And I think that's all the pointers, Leo. But obviously, before we end, what would you say has been your favorite moment of this season?
That is something, honestly, with the amount of commentaries I've done recently, I think everything's kind of mashing itself into one in my brain. But looking at the tracks, looking at where we've been this season, I honestly think earlier in the season was probably better than the end of the season. I'd say looking at Kota was quite a good race. Kota and Saudi Arabia, both very good races. If it was a single moment in a single race, I think it would just have to be all that lead battling in Monaco, because the fact we got a battle in Monaco was incredible. Yeah,
for sure. Monaco, I think I'll agree with you on that one. I think Monaco was very good. I think definitely one of my favorite races was Kota. I think, there was a really good battle there for, seeing Gaffo getting his first win in the URC, Fran on the podium. It was really that, seeing Gaffo, Luca, and Fran all battling for that P1 was really good. It was a shame to lose Luca looking back at it now, but I think the end of the season really picked up. Monaco I'm really surprised to say it, but Monaco was definitely one of my races up there as well. It surprised me in how much racing we had and how much battling, the drama, the chaos on such a narrow track. We had it all. And then Austria tonight, I think when people look at the calendar, Leo, as well, people thought I was mad to choose Austria as a finale, and look at the race it gave us. It gave us such a brilliant race for like 5 people fighting for the win.
Yeah, and I have to say, I probably agreed with a lot of those people, thinking it was a bit of a crazy idea to go for Austria as the finale, thinking, something bad could have happened. It could have been a boring race, but I think it helps that as the game has gone on, metas have evolved, setups have evolved, people's skill has evolved, and the ability to actually handle the dirty air has gotten so much better now that I think Austria managed to become a good race out of just so much experience in this game.
Yeah,
I'm
and then it's
trying
just
to math right now as well, because ST wants to know about the constructors for Red Bull. I think they do keep their P9, by the way. Just about.
I think so,
over.
because Yari got 7th and he got 8th.
Yeah, so they keep
Right?
it just about over Sauber. 17 points was not enough to clear the 18 that Red Bull had in margin before counting any of Sauber's points. But obviously, Sham, you have the software that'll actually put all this together. Instead of me
Yeah,
trying to do mental maths over a
Yeah,
picture
and
of
again,
last season's results.
I will definitely address the the results and everything in the post race debrief. I think people will be looking forward to that because there's a lot of highlight moments in that race that will be fun to break down for me. And it got a good reception, the Monaco one last week. But yeah, I don't think I think I want to just say obviously one more thing. Big thank you to, first of all, obviously the drivers that turned up every week and put on a good display for myself and Neo. The championship story obviously started in Silverstone and ended in Monaco. So the fact that it went on for 10 races, the constructors went to the finale. Couldn't have asked for a better season 12 and a better comeback season, I suppose, or a better season 11. Apologies for URC's comeback, because there was a lot of thoughts up in the air when URC was announced as to return. A lot of doubts, I think, by some members and everything that this would fall through. And the fact that it's just gone to a height is amazing. So I'm thankful to the drivers. Leo, I'm thankful to you for hosting the sessions, being the hosting commentator, running things smoothly as you possibly can. Yeah, a lot of people to thank, really. But and obviously those watching on YouTube as well is really much really appreciated, because the support on the channel has grown really, really well. So yeah, hopefully everyone's looking forward to season 12. With how season 11 has ended, I think season 12 will be even more exciting. New lineups, Fran at Red Bull at the worst performing team. Where's Hyper going to be at? Only time will tell. But will we see a new championship story in season 12? Could be. There's no time to make predictions yet, Leo, is there?
Yeah, no. Will we see my controller survive as well? I'm currently providing the stream some background entertainment, and my controller is giving up. I can tell. Oh my. Okay, controller's giving up. Just trying to provide you all with some Jeddah time trial driving, and my throttle is just not working. So yeah, new controller soon. Plan to buy that early on in April, and maybe finally I'll be able to drive at some point in any league. It probably won't be here, based on the skill cap, but maybe I'll leave this Thursday night and try and drag everyone over to PSGL to watch me race.
No. We need you here.
Yeah, Yari says, if Yari gets a win in any league, I have to race PSGL or WOR, by the way. That is a bet I've made with him. So,
don't they race on Tuesdays? PSGL?
WOR is Monday. PSGL, the tier I'd be in, would be Thursdays.
Sake. No. You wouldn't do that to me, Leo.
No, I wouldn't. I'd probably go do WOR because Gaffo can handle Monday Night FA, hopefully. If not, then I've got like 50 people that are willing to do commentary. I'm sure I can drag one of them to do my Monday nights.
Fair. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, end of a season, though. That is...
Yeah, for sure.
The champions being Fran Bernoulli's Ferrari, and then the two Hasses at the end of the season, something maybe you wouldn't have seen coming from the start, maybe not even at the mid-season. our champion in Fran Bernoulli is moving away from Ferrari, going to Red Bull for Season 12, but the rest of the lineups yet to be revealed. Stand by for an announcement in the Discord for whenever we get times and dates for streams and announcements about lineups and calendars. And also keep an eye out, because I will definitely be telling you all about when the F126 game is coming out, well, the DLC, because I think that's interesting. I think everyone doesn't agree on the timing yet. I think that's the one thing no one can agree on at this point.
Absolutely.
And just remember, everyone, Australian Grand Prix on this weekend, so get ready to wake up at 4 in the morning to watch cars go around a circle for, 58 laps. But thanks all for coming along. We will see you back next week at some point for announcements on the next season.
Got a 5 red light.